Chosen one. Listen closely. The air itself is shifting. Not the wind, not the weather, but time. Somewhere in the unseen, a clock has begun to count down. 11:59 p.m., 1 minute left before everything turns. You can feel it, can't you? That quiet urgency in your chest. The tug that tells you something eternal is moving. You were never born to blend in. You were placed on earth as heaven's exclamation mark in an age of confusion. Before you took your first breath, your name was whispered in eternity. You are not an accident of time. You are its assignment. I see an image, a reversed hourglass. The sand doesn't fall, it rises. Grain returns upward, as if time itself is being redeemed. That's what's happening in your spirit right now. The countdown isn't to your end, it's to your awakening. Heaven is giving you one more moment to choose light over delay. There was once someone like you, a man named Caleb. He spent years waiting in the almost season, where promises lingered just beyond reach. He thought God had passed him by. But one night, alone in his room, he heard a still voice, "Stand before the clock strikes 12. The next morning, he obeyed. That one act of courage turned years of silence into fulfillment. His 11:59 became his dawn. Your 11:59 is here too, not to frighten you, but to awaken you. It is written in the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 11. The hour has already come for you to wake up from your slumber, because our salvation is nearer now than when we believed. Those words are not history, they are heartbeat. Wake up, not from sleep, but from fear, from hesitation, from every voice that told you it's too late. Heaven is calling you to move while there's still time. Imagine this, a hallway of radiant doors, each leading to a different version of your future. Only one is open, and it's glowing brighter by the second. Soon it will close. The light beyond it is your purpose. Don't wait another breath. Yes, the waiting has been long. Yes, you've been weary, but you've come too far to turn back now. The storm wasn't meant to drown you. It was meant to teach you how to walk on water. Every heartbreak, every disappointment was shaping you for this very moment. Trials are not rejection, they are refinement. Gold only shines after the fire. You've been through flames, but you're still standing. That means the fire served its purpose. It didn't consume you, it revealed you. I can see it, the quiet determination in your spirit. You've cried in secret, yet you still rise every morning. That strength heaven recognizes, not the loud kind, but the kind that refuses to quit. If this word resonates in your soul, pause right now, take a breath, type a declaration in the comments, something simple, something true. I will awaken, I choose light, or even Achat Asera, Chamishim Vetisha. When you write it, you're not just commenting, you're sealing a covenant. And if you know someone standing at their own 11:59 moment, share this with them. Not for clicks or fame, but for souls. Let this word be the flame passed from your hand to theirs. If you want to stay aligned with these divine moments, subscribe, not out of habit, but as a statement. I will not miss my hour. The ticking clock is not against you, it's for you. Each second is a heartbeat from heaven, reminding you that grace is still running toward you. Listen deeper, beyond the tick, There's a rhythm, the rhythm of the one who created you. And now, 1 minute remains, but that minute could rewrite your entire life. Comment 11 below to declare, I will not sleep through my moment. There's a sound rising within you now, a sacred pulse between heaven and earth. It's not the sound of panic, but of awakening. The same voice that called Lazarus from the tomb is calling your spirit to stand again. The darkness you see is not the end, it's the veil before revelation. The storm is only the sky preparing to break open. Every second between now and midnight is mercy extended. Grace whispering, there's still time. Nigh. Lift your eyes. Chosen one. The stars themselves seem to pause, waiting for your yes. Heaven is watching the brave, not the perfect. Step forward before the clock resets. Destiny is not waiting for another name, it's waiting for yours. You were marked before you were ever seen, before your first cry reached the air. Your name was carved into eternity's memory. The world called it coincidence when your path twisted and turned, but heaven called it calibration. Every detour, every delay, every heartbreak was written with purpose to remind you that you were chosen long before you ever chose him. Some people carry ordinary lives, others carry assignments. You, chosen one, carry an assignment. That is why your journey has been heavier, your nights longer, your heart more sensitive to things others ignore. You've always felt the invisible weight of something sacred pressing against your soul, while others slept peacefully through the years. You lay awake, sensing what was coming, unable to name it, but knowing it was near. There was a boy once who understood this before he understood himself. His name was Ezra. He never fit in, not because he was rebellious, but because his spirit moved to a rhythm no one else could hear. As a child, he dreamed of fire that did not burn, voices that spoke through thunder, and light that appeared in quiet rooms. He thought he was strange until the day he realized he wasn't strange. He was chosen. His whole life was a whisper from heaven, preparing him for a single moment when obedience would change everything. You are living that same story. You feel things deeply because you were made to intercede. You notice details others overlook because you were built to discern. You walk through seasons of silence because God is writing volumes in your stillness. The mark of the chosen is not glamour, it is endurance. It is the unseen battles that carve character into your bones. Sometimes, being chosen feels like being isolated, like walking through a crowd and still feeling invisible. But invisibility is not punishment, it is protection. God hides what he values most. Diamonds are not found in open fields, they're buried deep, waiting for pressure to reveal their brilliance. The same is true of you. Your current silence is the soil where your future voice is growing. And when you wonder why others advance faster, why doors swing wide for them but remain closed for you, remember this: ordinary assignments open easily. Divine ones take divine timing. Heaven's calendar does not rush. It refines. Every not yet has guarded you from a counterfeit version of what was truly meant for you. According to what is written in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 1, verse 9, he has saved us and called us to a holy life, not because of what we have done, but by his grace. Those words aren't abstract, they're the foundation beneath your feet. You were called, not because you were perfect, but because purpose chose you before you could choose it back. Even your flaws were factored into the plan. Nothing you've lost disqualified you. It only clarified what remains. You may not have seen it, but heaven did. Every time you kept believing when nothing changed, angels took note. Every time you forgave when it hurt, the mark grew brighter. You are not waiting for validation. You are the validation that God still chooses imperfect vessels for perfect plans. There's an invisible thread woven through your story. It connects childhood wonder, teenage confusion, adult endurance, all of it leading toward divine revelation. The tears you thought were wasted watered the very ground you're about to stand upon. Nothing was accidental, not even the pain. Think of it like an artist working on a painting so close to the canvas that all you can see are scattered strokes and messy colors. From your view, it makes no sense. But step back, he's forming a masterpiece. The shades of loss, the lines of waiting, the depth of longing, they are creating contrast for the brilliance about to emerge. Your story has not been ordinary because your calling is not ordinary. You were marked before time began, sealed by hands that never fail. You may not yet see the fullness of why, but heaven already does. And soon, what was hidden in mystery will be revealed in clarity. The mark is real. The call is real. You are not random. You are remembered. And though the world may not yet see it, heaven already celebrates it. Every step you take in quiet faith echoes louder than the shouts of the proud. The unseen is shifting because of your endurance. Soon, what was whispered in secret will be shouted from the light. The mark upon you will no longer be hidden. It will become the very proof that grace still walks the earth through chosen hearts. The sound is getting louder now, not outside you, but within. It's not the ticking of a clock anymore. It's a summons. The Spirit has been whispering your name in ways that logic cannot interpret. Every strange coincidence, every sudden pause, every divine interruption, it's all been heaven trying to get your attention. You've felt it in the stillness between thoughts, in the ache that won't fade after prayer, in the way songs and scriptures find you at the exact moment you're about to give up. That's not random. That's orchestration. Heaven has been weaving a melody through your chaos, hoping you'll stop long enough to recognize the rhythm. There was once a woman named Mara. She spent years running from her calling, chasing approval instead of obedience. She loved God, but feared surrender. One night, she woke from a dream where she stood before a vast desert, hearing her name echo across the dunes. Each time she tried to walk away, the echo followed her, gentler but firmer. Return. When she finally turned toward the voice, the desert bloomed under her feet. That is what happens when you listen. The barren places of your life begin to blossom. The silence that felt like punishment becomes the language of direction. The Spirit has never stopped speaking. You just had to quiet the noise long enough to hear. The Word of God declares in the book of Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 34, "Blessed are those who listen to me, watching daily at my doors, waiting at my doorway." And listening is an act of waiting with attention. It's not passive, it's posture. You don't wait in despair, you wait in readiness. Heaven rewards those who listen deeply. You were never meant to survive only on what you see. You were built to move according to what you hear. Every chosen one reaches a point where silence becomes sacred. It's the moment when God stops explaining and starts transforming. You may not understand the path, but your spirit does. It's been trained to follow the whisper, even when the world demands proof. When the Spirit calls your name, He doesn't shout to humiliate you, He whispers to honor you. Whispers are intimate, they require proximity, and if you're close enough to hear Him now, it means you're already standing where others only dream to be. There is a difference between hearing and listening. Hearing acknowledges sound, listening invites change. The Spirit isn't speaking for your information, He's speaking for your transformation. When you respond, something in the unseen world responds back. You've been sensing that urge to act, to realign, to cleanse your space, to forgive, to start again. Don't dismiss it as emotion. That stirring is divine instruction, disguised as feeling. Heaven often speaks in ways your logic will resist. Because destiny doesn't need permission, it needs recognition. There's an image that captures this perfectly, a harp resting in silence until the wind passes through its strings. It makes no sound on its own. Yet when the Spirit moves across it, music fills the air. You are that harp. Heaven is breathing across your life right now, turning your stillness into a sound the earth needs to hear. So this is your moment to respond, to acknowledge that you hear Him. Let the words rise not from your mind, but from your spirit. Say it out loud or type it below. Comment, I hear. Because every time you declare that, you align your spirit with divine frequency. You tell heaven, I am listening. I am not numb anymore. I am awake to the whisper. And when heaven finds a listener, it releases instruction, favor, and protection like never before. The Spirit is near, closer than your next breath. Don't rush past this stillness. Stay long enough to let the whisper become a word, and the word become a step. Soon, you'll realize the whisper wasn't calling you to something small, it was calling you home. When you write, I hear, you're not just typing letters, you're echoing heaven's language. You're acknowledging that your soul has turned toward the voice that formed it. Those two words become a doorway between silence and revelation. Each time you declare it, something shifts inside you. Confusion loses its grip, and direction begins to form. The whisper that once felt distant starts unfolding into steps, into courage, into peace. You'll begin to notice guidance in small things, timing, faces, verses, opportunities, proof that heaven is answering your response. So linger in that awareness. Let those words, I hear, become your rhythm, not just a comment, but a covenant. Because those who listen deeply never walk alone, they move in harmony with the voice that never fails. When heaven presses pause, the earth doesn't always understand. You see it as delay, but in eternity's rhythm, it is divine stillness. Everything that feels frozen in your life right now may actually be God holding the world still just long enough for you to catch your breath. Realign, and remember who you are. You've noticed it lately, haven't you? Doors that once swung wide are now quiet. People who once called your name no longer do. Momentum that once carried you forward suddenly feels like it evaporated overnight. You question yourself. You question your timing. You even question your faith. But the truth is, heaven has paused the motion, not to punish you, but to protect you from moving before you're ready. In the realm of the Spirit, pauses are not empty. They are wombs of transformation. Seeds don't grow in constant sunlight. They need darkness, stillness, pressure, and hiddenness to break open. The same is true for your calling. When heaven presses pause, it's saying, "Stay still while I rearrange everything around you." Think of a potter at work. The clay doesn't protest when the wheel slows down. It trusts the hands shaping it. The wheel's rhythm changes, so the potter can press deeper. Refine curves. Perfect edges. You are on that wheel now. The slowing is not abandonment, it's attention. There's a story told of a man named Jonah, not the prophet, but an ordinary believer whose life once mirrored that storm. Everything he tried seemed to fall apart. Every prayer felt unanswered. One night, in exhaustion, he whispered, "If you're silent, I'll stop fighting it." The next morning, peace filled his heart like water filling a jar. Nothing outward changed, but within him, stillness became strength. That pause became the birthplace of direction. The Word of God carries this pattern in every story. Even creation had a pause, 6 days of work, and then rest. Rest wasn't a reaction, it was part of the design. So when heaven calls you into stillness, it's not because you've failed, it's because the next chapter demands a quieter foundation. As the prophet Haggai recorded in chapter 2, verse 9, "The glory of this present house will be greater than the glory of the former, says the Lord Almighty. And in this place I will grant peace." And peace doesn't come before stillness. It's born from it. The old glory fades. The noise dies down. And what remains is the weight of something new forming in silence. You may not see it yet, but the peace that's wrapping itself around you is not the end. It's the preparation for greater glory. Heaven's pause often feels uncomfortable because movement reassures us. We equate activity with purpose, but God knows that growth happens in still soil. Think of a caterpillar in its cocoon. It cannot rush transformation. If it breaks free too soon, its wings will never hold flight. The stillness is not the end of motion. It's the sacred middle between promise and manifestation. Sometimes, heaven pauses you to separate your noise from his voice. In the stillness, you discover the difference between striving and surrender. You learn to stop asking when and start trusting why. You realize that stillness is not silence, it's conversation in a language deeper than words. You've been trained to move fast, to chase outcomes, to measure worth by progress. But God is teaching you a different rhythm, the rhythm of dependence. The pause is not stealing time from you, it's giving eternity to you. When everything else stops, he speaks in frequencies only still hearts can hear. There's a subtle beauty in this divine quiet. It's where burdens lose weight and perspective gains clarity. The pause reminds you that purpose doesn't die in waiting, it matures there. What feels like a stop is often a holy intermission before the curtain rises again. Imagine standing at the shore after a storm. The water, once violent, is now glass. In that mirror of calm, you see your reflection clearer than ever. That's what heaven is doing, clearing the waters so you can finally recognize yourself, not through pain, but through purpose. So, breathe. Stop forcing what's not moving. Heaven's pause is not rejection, it's orchestration. When the stillness ends, you'll realize the pause wasn't a delay. It was a delivery. When heaven presses pause, it's rewriting timing, preparing stages, realigning hearts, and softening yours. Soon, movement will return, but it will not be frantic, it will be divine. And when you step again, you'll know this silence was never empty. It was sacred. It was strength. It was the sound of heaven preparing your next beginning. You are standing on the edge of obedience. The line is thin, but sacred. One side is comfort. The other is calling. You've come far enough to see both clearly now. Comfort feels safe. Calling feels uncertain. Yet, deep down, you know only one of them leads to life. Heaven has drawn this moment like an artist drawing light out of darkness, shaping your hesitation into decision. Obedience is not always loud. Sometimes it's a quiet nod, a whispered yes in the middle of your fear. It's the act of trusting that if you step, the ground will appear beneath you. That moment right there is where faith breathes. There's an old story about a woman named Lyra. For years, she lived near the ocean, but never entered it. She loved the sound of waves, the rhythm of tides, the scent of salt in the air, but the water terrified her. One morning, after another restless night, she walked to the shore. The sea was still, like glass reflecting sunrise. She took off her shoes, stepped in, and whispered, "If you called me here, I won't stay on the sand." The moment her feet touched the water, it didn't pull her under, it carried her forward. That's what obedience does. It doesn't drown you, it delivers you. You've stood at the shore long enough. You've watched others walk forward while you analyze the wind. But the wind is waiting for your step. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 11, verse 28, "Blessed rather are those who hear the word of God and obey it." Then, the blessing isn't hidden in what you understand, it's hidden in what you obey. Heaven never asks for understanding before movement, it asks for trust. And trust doesn't always come with explanations. Sometimes it comes wrapped in trembling hands and tearful courage. You've been standing here long enough to know the voice is real. You've seen too many confirmations to keep doubting. Every closed door, every unexpected delay, every internal nudge, it's all been heaven testing the posture of your obedience. Will you follow even when you don't feel ready? Will you trust even when you can't see the outcome? Obedience is the bridge between prayer and promise. Many pray for change, but only those who cross the bridge taste it. The steps may shake beneath you, but they are holy steps. Each one you take tells the heavens, "I believe more in your plan than in my fear." Imagine the moment before dawn, when the world is still dark, but you sense light just beyond the horizon. That's where you are now, the last moment before manifestation. You can't see the full picture yet, but heaven can. The next act of faith you take might unlock what generations have prayed for. You don't have to be fearless to obey, you just have to be willing. God never demanded perfection. He asked for pursuit. He honors the trembling yes as much as the confident one. So here's the gentle truth. Obedience is not losing control. It's giving it back to the one who knows where to lead you. When you obey, you trade temporary certainty for eternal alignment. And as you stand at this edge, heaven is not shouting, it's whispering. The whisper says, "Don't delay. Step now." Oh, there's an invitation here, subtle but sacred. If this message stirs something inside you, if your heart feels the pull to return, to trust again, to move forward, let your soul respond. Imagine a lantern ritual by the sea, each light lifted into the air, carrying a silent prayer upward. When you like this word, it's like lighting your own lantern. When you share, it's sending another light into someone's night. And when you subscribe, it's choosing to keep your lantern burning beside others who walk this same shoreline of faith. Do it not because you're told to, but because beauty deserves to travel. Let obedience flow through simple acts that ripple like light across water. No one can push you across this line. Heaven waits for your willing heart. But when you decide to step, creation itself leans in to make room for your obedience. Because obedience isn't just what you do, it's what you become. The moment you say yes, everything around you begins to rearrange. Doors align. Timing shifts. Peace returns. The sea that once frightened you becomes your passage. So, here you stand on sacred ground, where sand meets water, where fear meets faith, and heaven whispers again, "This is your moment." And as the wind moves across the water, it carries your yes into eternity. The ocean remembers, heaven records, and the earth quietly adjusts to make way for your becoming. The clock stands still at 11:59 p.m. The air is thick, almost sacred, like creation itself is holding its breath. You feel it in your chest, that subtle tremor between what was and what's about to be. This is the mercy minute, the last flicker of grace before the cutoff. The moment heaven waits to see if you will stand, surrender, or sleep through the final call. You might not realize it, but mercy often disguises itself as time. Every sunrise you've seen, every delay that frustrated you, every chance that came back around it was mercy, giving you another turn to align your heart. Heaven doesn't waste seconds, it invests them in you. Think of time like a candle, not a clock. The wax melts, not to end itself, but to give light. Every moment that passes isn't loss, it's illumination. You've been burning toward purpose. And this is the minute where the flame either expands or fades. There's a story about a man named Joel. For years, he lived between two worlds, part faith, part fear. He prayed when things broke, but drifted when they healed. He told himself there would always be more time. But one night, he felt something different. The usual comfort of delay vanished. He sat by his window, watching the city lights flicker, and whispered, "If mercy still lingers, I won't waste it." The next morning, everything felt new, not because his circumstances changed, but because his heart finally did. That is what happens in the mercy minute. It's not just about repentance, it's revelation. It's when you see how near God still is, even after you've wandered so far. Mercy is not weakness, it's warfare. It fights for you when logic says it's too late. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Hosea, chapter 6, verse 1. "Come, let us return to the Lord, for he has torn us, that he may heal us. He has struck us down, and he will bind us up." Lash. The beauty of mercy is that it meets you in brokenness, not in perfection. It doesn't wait for you to be whole. It makes you whole. The tearing wasn't punishment, it was preparation. The breaking wasn't the end, it was the beginning of binding. You may think your failures disqualified you, but mercy is louder than your history. Heaven doesn't measure how far you fell, it measures how far you're willing to rise. That's why the countdown still runs. It's not to terrify you, but to testify that grace hasn't finished its work. Mercy always shows up in the margins, the thief on the cross, the woman caught in shame, the disciple who denied, yet returned. It's the minute before midnight when heaven leans closer and whispers, "There's still time." Oh, and that's what this moment is. Not fear, but invitation. Not the end, but awakening. Imagine standing in a dark hallway where every door but one is locked. That one door shines with soft, golden light, the kind that feels like forgiveness. The handle is warm, waiting for your hand. That's mercy. It never forces you. It waits. It believes you'll turn the handle, even when your hand trembles. Mercy isn't just for the guilty, it's for the weary, the uncertain, the almost ready. It's for those who've tried to fix themselves and finally admit they can't. It's for you, right now, in this very breath. This is not coincidence. You were meant to hear these words in this exact minute. The mercy minute is not about the ticking of time. It's about the turning of hearts. Heaven records the moment your spirit whispers, yes. And when it does, something shifts. You may not hear thunder, but the atmosphere changes. Chains you didn't even notice begin to loosen. The heaviness that once sat on your chest begins to lift. The same spirit that hovered over chaos now hovers over you. Mercy is movement. It flows. It fills. It floods. It's not static. It's alive. It will meet you on the floor of repentance and raise you to the mountain of renewal. So pause. Right here. Let the clock fade. Forget the noise, the guilt, the pressure. Focus on this single truth. Mercy is reaching for you. If you feel that pull, if grace stirs something deep, respond with a quiet act of faith. Comment 777 to say, "I receive the mercy meant for me." It's not ritual. It's recognition, your spirit agreeing that grace still reigns. The mercy minute is not about running out of time. It's about realizing time was always grace. Every breath you take is proof that God still chooses you, still waits for you, still believes in your becoming. So let the candle keep burning. Let mercy keep flowing. Let your heart whisper, "I am still here." And grace is not done. No, because when the clock finally strikes midnight, those who answered mercy's call won't hear an ending, they'll hear a beginning. There is a battle you cannot see, yet it rages around you every moment. The air between your thoughts and your choices is alive with unseen movement, angels standing guard, shadows resisting, light contending for your surrender. You are living in the overlap of two realms. What feels like anxiety in the natural is often warfare in the spiritual. Every chosen one must learn this truth. Not all pressure is punishment. Sometimes the resistance you feel is proof that you're moving in the right direction. The moment you align with heaven's purpose, darkness adjusts its aim. But do not mistake opposition for abandonment. Opposition is confirmation that you've become a threat to hell. You've sensed it those days when peace feels fragile, when your mind races with doubts that don't sound like your own. You wake up already tired, even before your day begins. It's not weakness. It's evidence that something unseen has noticed your light and seeks to dim it. There's an ancient pattern in this. Every time God raises a voice, the enemy releases confusion. It happened to Elijah in the wilderness, to Job in the ashes, to Paul in prison. The louder your obedience becomes, the more darkness tries to silence it. But remember, darkness can only imitate what it fears. It cannot destroy what heaven has ordained. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12, For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And this isn't metaphor, it's reality. The true battlefield is invisible, but its outcomes shape everything visible. The thoughts you entertain, the words you release, the faith you choose to hold, all of them echo in realms you cannot see. There was a man named Elias, a quiet soul who never sought attention. Every night he felt a heaviness in prayer, as if something unseen pressed against him. For months he questioned whether he was failing spiritually. One evening, exhausted, he whispered, "If this is warfare, teach my hands to fight." The next morning, something broke. The heaviness didn't vanish, but his heart no longer feared it. He realized he wasn't under attack. He was being trained. The weight he carried was a sword being forged in his spirit. That's what spiritual warfare does. It refines you into a weapon of peace. You are not called to fight with anger or fear, but with authority born of surrender. Every trial teaches you the weight of light. Every temptation strengthens your grip on truth. Every moment of despair is a classroom where your endurance learns to breathe again. You are not fighting for victory, you are fighting from it. The outcome was sealed long before your first battle began. What the enemy fears most is not your strength, it's your awareness of it. The moment you realize who you are, darkness loses its hold. The unseen war around you is not meant to crush you, it's meant to reveal you. Like coal under pressure becomes a diamond. Your endurance under trial reveals the brilliance heaven hid within you. The pressure you feel is not death pressing in, it's purpose pushing out. Picture an arrow resting in the hand of an archer. To launch it forward, the archer must first pull it back. The tension you feel is that pull. The further you are drawn into stillness, the greater the distance you will travel when released. You are not being restrained, you are being prepared for precision. And while you wrestle with unseen things, remember this: every angel assigned to you stands firm. You are never fighting alone. Heaven does not watch from afar, it fights beside you. In quiet moments, when the world cannot see your struggle, heaven applauds your endurance. Every time you choose peace over panic, light over bitterness, you win ground in a war most people never perceive. So when the pressure rises again, when sleep feels heavy and hope feels dim, whisper this truth: this is not the end of me, this is the proving of me. Because you were never meant to crumble under warfare, you were meant to command through it. The storms that rise around you will one day become testimonies beneath your feet. The unseen world already knows your name. And in the silence between battles, heaven still whispers, hold your ground. Chosen one, you are being strengthened for victories not yet visible. There comes a moment when the reflection in front of you no longer feels familiar. You look in the mirror and realize something has shifted. Your eyes carry both the weight of every battle and the quiet strength of every survival. This is the mirror of fire, where illusion burns away and truth begins to speak. Here, you cannot hide behind titles, achievements, or smiles meant to reassure others. The mirror of fire doesn't show what people see, it reveals what God sees. It strips the layers of performance, of pretending you're fine when you're breaking, and it leaves you face to face with your true self, not the self shaped by fear, but the one shaped by divine design. The fire is not there to destroy you, It is there to distinguish you. What cannot survive the heat was never meant to define you. The mirror of fire is both mercy and judgment. It burns away what's false, but preserves what's pure. There's a woman's story that mirrors this truth. Her name was Adira. For years, she carried the pain of being misunderstood, always strong for others, never allowed to rest. She had built her identity around resilience, not realizing that strength without healing becomes armor too heavy to bear. One day, in prayer, she felt a warmth surround her like sunlight piercing through smoke. She wept, not from sorrow, but from recognition. The fire had come not to punish, but to purify. In that encounter, she saw who she really was, a vessel still burning, but not consumed. Fire has always been heaven's refining tool. The bush Moses saw blazed, but was not destroyed. Isaiah's lips were touched by fire before his voice carried truth. The disciples' courage was born in tongues of flame. Fire is both cleansing and commissioning. It removes the excess and releases the essence. The word of the Lord declares in the first letter of Peter, chapter 1, verse 7, "These trials will show that your faith is genuine. It is being tested as fire tests and purifies gold, though your faith is far more precious than mere gold." Number 1. In the mirror of fire, you come to understand that every trial was not sent to break you. It was sent to expose what could not break. The flames reveal faith that cannot be faked, hope that refuses to die, and love that endures beyond wounds. You have walked through fires others never saw, the arguments that ended with you smiling, the betrayals you forgave in silence, the dreams you buried because you thought it was noble. These are the flames that forged your soul. They refined your character until your endurance shone brighter than pain. In the mirror of fire, God does not ask, "What did you lose?" He asks, "What did you learn?" Because loss often teaches what abundance never could. Pain reveals authenticity. It clarifies motives, separates noise from necessity, and perhaps that's why He brings you to this mirror now, because you can finally see without distortion. You've reached the point where you no longer need approval to feel valuable. You no longer chase acceptance from those who only recognized your weakness, but never your worth. Fire has given you vision. You've begun to see purpose, even in ashes. Like a forest that regrows richer after a burn, your soul is producing life where devastation once lived. Every scar you carry is now fertile ground for grace. The mirror of fire doesn't just reveal who you are, it reveals who you were always meant to be. The reflection looks back, not in shame, but in understanding. The eyes that once feared the flame now see its beauty. You are the clay that endured the kiln, the sword that survived the forge, the diamond that refused to remain coal. The heat did not come to consume you, it came to confirm you. Sometimes, the fire will show you not what must burn, but what must stay. Patience, compassion, conviction. These are the embers that remain glowing after every storm. They are the true markers of transformation. You will emerge from this mirror different, not polished, but purified, not perfect, but precise. The fire teaches focus, it refines purpose until everything unnecessary falls away. So if you feel heat rising again, another test, another moment of discomfort, don't run. Stand still and look. Fire cannot harm what it's sent to heal. You're not being undone, you're being uncovered. When you walk away from this mirror, You'll carry a new light in your eyes, the kind that frightens darkness because it knows what it survived. The kind that reminds heaven why you were chosen in the first place. The mirror of fire doesn't lie. It only tells the truth your spirit already knew. You were never fragile, you were forged. There are moments when time folds in on itself, and what was spoken centuries ago begins to echo in your present. The echoes of the prophets have found you. Their voices, once carried by desert winds and temple halls, now resound through the quiet chambers of your heart. You feel it, a vibration, a stirring, a sense that you are standing in the fulfillment of something ancient. The same fire that burned in Elijah, the same conviction that steadied Jeremiah, the same vision that stirred Ezekiel. It runs through your veins now. You are not merely reading their words, you are living their prophecy. The scrolls of history turn with the rhythm of your obedience. When prophets spoke, they never aimed for applause, they aimed for awakening. They released truth into time like arrows into eternity, knowing it might take generations for the message to land. You, chosen one, are where it lands. You are the living answer to prayers whispered before you were born. There was a young shepherd long ago named Micah, not the prophet, but a man who carried his namesake's heart. He lived simply, but every night he felt words rise in him that were not his own. When war came, he spoke peace. When despair ruled, he spoke hope. The elders mocked him for his simplicity. Yet what he said began to happen. Years later, his village called him the living scroll. That is the weight of prophetic inheritance. It doesn't always roar. Sometimes it hums quietly inside those who listen. You've been feeling that hum lately, haven't you? The sense that heaven is aligning something unseen through your ordinary moments. The decisions you make, the mercy you show, the words you speak, they are all part of a prophecy being fulfilled. As written in the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 7. Surely the sovereign Lord does nothing without revealing his plan to his servants, the prophets. Those revelations didn't stop in ancient times. They continue through those who still hear and obey. Prophecy isn't just prediction, it's participation. It's when you become the instrument through which eternity speaks into time. You carry that mantle now. That's why you've felt the tension between destiny and delay, between calling and comfort. Prophetic people always live in the tension of not yet, because they stand between two worlds, the one that is and the one that's coming. The world may not recognize it, but heaven already has. Every whisper you've obeyed, every battle you've endured, every word you've spoken in faith, they are ripples extending from promises God once declared through his prophets. You are walking in their footprints, yet forging your own path through new fire. Sometimes you'll hear a scripture and it feels alive, like it's breathing straight into your chest. That's because it is the same spirit that inspired the prophets is still writing through you. You are not just reading the word, you are becoming living proof of it. But with that calling comes weight. Prophetic echoes demand alignment. When you carry the words of heaven, you cannot live like those who don't. Your life becomes a message long before your lips speak. And yet, what a privilege it is to live in such a time as this, where the ancient and the modern collide, to be the voice that bridges what was promised and what is now appearing. The prophets dreamed of days like these. You are living inside their answered prayers. When you feel uncertain, when doubt creeps in, remember, The same God who whispered to Isaiah, who thundered to Moses, who breathed visions into Daniel, is still speaking now. And sometimes he chooses the quiet ones, the overlooked ones, the tired ones, because humility carries revelation farther than pride ever could. If you can sense those echoes stirring in your own heart, if something inside you knows that your steps are part of a larger prophecy, then let heaven hear your agreement. Comment, I align. These two words are not for recognition, they are for resonance. You are declaring, I align my heart with what was spoken. I align my life with heaven's timing. I align my will with the word that never fades. The echoes are not fading, they are amplifying through your obedience. The same wind that once carried the prophets' voices now carries yours. And heaven, once again, begins to write. Those who align don't chase prophecy, they become it. Their lives turn into living scrolls, unfolding word by word in the hands of the author. The alignment itself becomes revelation. And when heaven finds alignment, it multiplies impact. What was once a whisper in your spirit becomes a sound that reshapes generations. When the final scrolls are unsealed, understanding flows like light, spilling through a cracked door. The mysteries you once questioned begin to form patterns. The waiting begins to make sense. What was hidden in pain now glows with purpose. You finally see that the delay was never denial. It was divine detail being written with precision. Every chosen one reaches this threshold, the place where revelation unfolds and perspective shifts from why me to thank you. It's the moment when heaven allows you to glance behind the curtain of your trials and see what your suffering has built in the unseen. The final scrolls reveal not new information, but deeper interpretation. You realize every wound became a word, every loss became a lesson, and every tear wrote something heaven could use. There's a man whose story mirrors this. His name was Elias. For years, he believed his hardships were punishment. He lost friends, jobs, dreams, and even the sense that he mattered. One night, in the quiet, he prayed, "Show me what I missed." And in that stillness, he saw his life unfold, like pages turning in light. Every closed door had redirected him. Every unanswered prayer had preserved him. What he thought was ruin had been rearrangement. He didn't receive an explanation, he received revelation. As revealed in the first book of Corinthians, chapter 2, verse 9, no eye has seen, no ear has heard, no heart has imagined what God has prepared for those who love Him. That verse isn't abstract, it's happening in you. Heaven is revealing what was always yours, piece by piece. The scrolls of your life are being unsealed. Every experience you thought was random now reads like prophecy. The season that almost broke you was the ink that wrote your authority. When the scrolls open, you realize why you had to walk through wilderness first. Authority without experience is hollow. It's your scars that give your words weight. That's why the refining had to happen first, so that when you speak, heaven trusts your voice. Think of a mosaic made of shattered glass. Up close, it looks chaotic, even painful to the touch. But step back, and every fragment forms an image so intricate that only brokenness could have created it. That's your story. Every shard you thought was wasted is part of a greater design. You were never being punished, you were being positioned. The final scrolls don't show you what you lost, they show you what you became. You became light stitched together, by survival. You became a voice for those still searching in the dark. You became proof that even ashes can preach. This is what the prophets longed to see: a generation who would understand their own stories as sacred text, who would let their testimonies speak louder than their pain. And here you are, standing in that revelation. When understanding comes, peace follows. You stop demanding explanations because peace itself becomes the answer. The same God who wrote the stars into place has been writing your story with the same deliberate care. Every comma mattered. Every pause carried purpose. Now that the scrolls are open, your only task is to walk in what has been revealed, to live as one who has seen beyond the veil, not with pride, but with quiet gratitude. And if this word stirs you, if it feels like the puzzle pieces of your life are finally starting to align, then let that gratitude overflow. Not through ritual, but through beauty. Imagine you're standing beneath a vast sky filled with lanterns. Each one represents a story redeemed, a light reborn from what was once broken. When you like this message, it's as though you release your lantern upward, a small flame saying, "I see it now." Lane. When you share, it's as though you hand another lantern to someone still standing in the dark. You become the bridge between revelation and reminder, passing hope from heart to heart. And when you subscribe, think of it as joining a constellation, a gathering of lights across distances, forming patterns only heaven can see. It's not a duty, it's an offering. You're saying, "Keep me in the rhythm of these revelations. Let me keep walking in light." Oh, every act of connection becomes worship when done in awareness. None of this is transaction, it's translation. You're translating gratitude into motion, faith into expression. You've reached the place where revelation and responsibility meet. The scrolls are open. The light is here. You are no longer asking for signs. You are becoming one. So lift your eyes. The same God who once wrote promises in ancient ink is now writing through your life in living color. And when heaven looks upon you, it doesn't see a survivor. It sees a scroll fulfilled. When heaven seals you, hell takes notice. There is a sound that follows divine confirmation, a resonance in the spirit realm that declares, "This one belongs to God." From that moment, your light grows stronger. But so does the resistance. The seal is both a mark of belonging and a beacon in battle. You are recognized in heaven, but you are also registered in the realms that oppose it. The seal of heaven is not visible ink, it's invisible authority. It cannot be removed by doubt or damaged by failure. It's the mark that says, "This one has endured fire and still worships. This one has fallen, yet returned. This one carries something eternal." It's not the absence of struggle that proves your authenticity, it's your perseverance through it. When you received that seal, something shifted. The air around you thickened with purpose. The same grace that once gently called your name now covers you like armor. You are no longer just being refined, you are being revealed. And revelation always draws reaction. The Word of God declares in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 1, verse 22, "He set his seal of ownership on us and put his Spirit in our hearts as a deposit, guaranteeing what is to come." That deposit is more than a promise, it's power. The Spirit within you is not dormant, it is alive, roaring softly beneath your ribs, guiding, convicting, strengthening. Yet every new level of anointing invites new levels of opposition. Light intensifies the shadows around it. That's why, after seasons of peace, you sometimes feel the sudden storm. You were not being punished, you were being promoted. The seal of heaven marks you as a vessel of light, and light cannot exist without drawing contrast. You will notice it in subtle ways, conversations that suddenly shift, people who can no longer walk beside you, circumstances that test what you've confessed. These are not signs of failure, they are the atmosphere adjusting to your new identity. There was once a young man named Tobias. He had walked faithfully, though quietly, for years. One night in prayer, he sensed something, break something invisible yet undeniable. Peace wrapped around him like a mantle. But days later, opposition came from unexpected places. The same people who once encouraged him now questioned his direction. He wept, asking God, "Why does obedience feel like isolation?" And the answer came softly, "Because revelation separates." From that day forward, he learned that the seal doesn't just identify it, differentiates. Being sealed by heaven doesn't mean you're exempt from pain. It means your pain now has purpose. It means even what the enemy sends to wound will be reworked to refine. It's the divine paradox. Hell's rage only polishes heaven's mark. Sometimes the resistance will not come as attack but as distraction. Not fire, but fog. The enemy's favorite tactic is not always destruction, it's dilution. He wants to blur the clarity of who you are. But the seal protects that clarity. The spirit within you reminds you of truth when your feelings forget it. There is a war waged over every sealed heart. Not because you are weak, but because you are worth the fight. The greater the calling, the more violent the opposition. The seal announces destiny, and destiny always disrupts darkness. Even the smallest flicker of your light disturbs territories long ruled by shadow. When you speak peace, confusion trembles. When you forgive, bitterness loses territory. When you love without reason, hell recoils. You are not just surviving spiritual warfare, you are reshaping it. Do not fear the increase of resistance, fear the absence of it. For that would mean you've ceased advancing. The seal ensures movement forward. Always forward. Every battle now builds muscle memory for victory. And when the storm howls again, remember this: storms never chase what doesn't carry value. You are not being hunted, you are being highlighted. Heaven has placed its mark on you, and the enemy only attacks what he cannot possess. The seal means that failure can bruise you, but never brand you. The Holy Spirit has already written ownership over your life. Every time you rise again, that writing glows brighter. You are proof that light endures, even under pressure. When you walk through the fire, you carry the mark. When you stand in the rain, you carry the mark. When you speak hope in hopeless places, the mark shines through your words. The seal is not an ornament, it's your origin. You are the evidence that heaven still invests in humanity. The spirit inside you is both promise and proof. You are sealed, sustained, and sent. And though hell may rage, it cannot unwrite what heaven has signed. Your story, marked by that invisible seal, continues to echo through eternity. The sound it makes is defiance, wrapped in worship, a melody that darkness cannot imitate. And when heaven listens, it hears its own reflection in you. The night deepens. The stars stand still as if watching the earth hold its breath. The moment has come, the midnight cry. It is not a sound of fear, but of awakening. Heaven calls the hearts that still carry flame, and you are among them. Midnight has always been sacred ground in Scripture. It's the hour between endings and beginnings, between yesterday's regret and tomorrow's promise. When darkness seems complete, that's when heaven chooses to move. Paul and Silas sang at midnight. The Israelites crossed the threshold at midnight. Freedom is often born in the darkest hour, and here you stand, your own midnight unfolding before you. Everything you've endured has led to this point. Every unanswered prayer, every lonely season, every tear on your pillow, they have gathered like drops of oil in heaven's lamp. Tonight, that lamp begins to burn. The midnight cry is not just a sound, it's a summons. It reaches those who have not given up, those who still wait, even when the world has gone silent. You are one of them, the watchers, the faithful, the ones who refuse to sleep through destiny. There was once a young woman named Selah. For months, she prayed for direction. Yet silence met her every plea. She thought God had stopped listening. Then, one night, she woke suddenly to a stillness that felt alive. No thunder, no vision, just presence. And deep within that stillness, she heard the cry, not through her ears, but through her spirit. It said only this: "It's time." The next morning, doors opened that had been sealed for years. The cry had not been for her ears, it was for her awakening. That is the power of the midnight cry. It doesn't just call you out of sleep, it calls you into alignment. The Word of God proclaims in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 6, "At midnight the cry rang out, 'Here's the bridegroom, come out to meet him.'" That ancient cry still echoes now, not from the sky, but through your soul. It's heaven saying, "Rise, trim your lamp. The moment you were made for is near." And you can feel the urgency, not panits, but purpose. This is not the time to doubt the oil within you. Your waiting has not been wasted, it's been distilled into readiness. The cry comes only to those who have oil left to burn. The midnight cry separates watchers from sleepers. Both hear the sound, but only one responds. Watchers move when others hesitate. They understand that obedience doesn't wait for comfort, it answers the moment. When you feel that pull, that divine stirring that interrupts your peace, don't dismiss it as emotion. That's the bridegroom's voice calling your name, reminding you that love is movement, not theory. The cry is not demanding, it's inviting. It asks, "Will you come when I call?" The midnight cry doesn't announce destruction, it announces distinction. It's heaven saying, "The waiting is over, the chosen must rise." Perhaps that's why this moment feels heavier than others. The Spirit is awakening every soul marked by grace to stand, to shine, to step forward, not for fame, not for recognition, but for fulfillment. Look around, the world is asleep, lulled by noise and distraction. Yet you, chosen one, are awake. You hear something the world has forgotten, the sound of eternity, calling the faithful home to purpose. The cry doesn't come with chaos, it comes with clarity. Suddenly, what you couldn't see becomes obvious. What felt confusing becomes simple. That's how you know the call is divine. It brings peace that instructs, rather than panic that overwhelms. If your spirit feels that vibration now, that unmistakable hum of heaven drawing close, You are being summoned into alignment. This is not coincidence. This is the signal for the remnant to rise. The bridegroom's steps are near. The air trembles with anticipation. Every fiber of creation seems to lean forward, waiting to see who will move when he calls. And now, the call has reached you. What will your response be? Will you press snooze on the sacred, or will you rise into the light that's been waiting for you? Let your answer be seen. Let heaven record your awakening. Comment 333. That number is not superstition, it's symbol. It represents divine completeness, the voice of the Trinity calling you higher. When you write it, you're saying, I hear the cry. I rise to answer. I will not sleep through my calling. Len, the midnight cry is not a warning, it's an announcement. It declares that grace is still available, purpose is still unfolding, and the bridegroom still desires his chosen, awake and ready. So lift your eyes toward the horizon of faith. The darkness will not last. The cry is not to end your story, it's to start your becoming. The lamps are being lit. The steps of heaven draw near, and through it all, the voice still whispers, it's time. Oh, when silence falls upon the earth, it is not the absence of God, it is the weight of his nearness. This is the moment when stillness becomes sacred. When the unseen realm shifts in preparation for unveiling, the silence that breaks the earth is not emptiness, it is anticipation. It is heaven inhaling before it speaks again. Every great move of God begins in quiet. Before creation came sound, there was silence hovering over chaos. Before the resurrection came, there was a still tomb and a waiting sky. The same stillness now rests upon your life, not to frighten you, but to frame what's next. You have been through the noise of warfare, the whispers of uncertainty, the echo of prophetic calling. Now, heaven brings you into holy quiet. This silence is not punishment, it's permission. Permission to breathe, to reset, to listen again without striving. It's strange, isn't it? To feel both peace and tension in the same breath. To know something is coming, yet have no words to describe it. That's how divine transitions begin. They don't announce themselves with chaos, they approach softly. Like dawn, brushing darkness aside. There was once a craftsman named Oren who carved wooden instruments in solitude. For months, he worked on a single harp, tuning and retuning each string. His workshop was silent, except for the faint hum of tension being adjusted. One day, his apprentice asked, "Why? So much silence, shouldn't we test the sound?" Oren smiled and said, "Silence tells me where harmony begins." From, that's what this season is. The sound has paused so that harmony can form. Heaven is tuning your life like an instrument, adjusting the strings that have carried too much strain, tightening those that lost focus. When the silence breaks, the sound that comes from you will carry weight and clarity, as written in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 20. But the Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him. That verse doesn't command fear, it invites reverence. Silence before God is not inactivity, it's intimacy. It's the space where revelation matures. The silence after warfare is where clarity settles. It's in those pauses that the Spirit rewrites the narratives shaped by pain. In the hush, you begin to see how heaven has been building, meaning beneath every moment of mystery. Do not rush this quiet. The world will tell you that silence is unproductive, but in heaven's language, stillness is strategy. God often hides his next move inside moments of calm. What feels like a delay is often divine design resetting the order of things. You might not hear his voice right now, but that doesn't mean he stopped speaking. It means he's letting his last word echo long enough to take root. Sometimes, the deepest instruction comes not from new revelation, but from resting in what he already said. Silence also tests your hearing. It teaches you to differentiate between God's whisper and the noise of your own anxiety. When you learn to rest in quiet, your spirit becomes sensitive to even the softest touch of his presence. Think of the earth before a storm breaks, how the wind stills, how even the birds pause. That's the kind of silence heaven uses before release. Creation seems to hold its breath because something holy is about to manifest. This is the same stillness now surrounding you. The heaviness you feel isn't absence, it's saturation. The presence of God resting like thick air before rain. Every fiber of creation feels it. Even your spirit senses the shift. You may not realize it, but you are standing in the prelude of revelation. The ground beneath you is quiet because it's being prepared to bear weight. When silence breaks, it will not return to what was. It will birth what's next. So, let this calm wrap around you. Let it untangle the exhaustion of the previous battles. Let it teach you how to rest without guilt, to wait without fear, to listen without demand. For in the silence, strength returns. In the stillness, focus renews. In the pause, heaven builds momentum. The moment will come soon, the sound will rise again. But when it does, it will not be the sound of chaos. It will be the sound of completion, of heaven's timing manifesting on earth. And when that sound breaks through, it will carry your name within it, not as a cry of desperation, but as a declaration of fulfillment. So remain in the silence. Don't rush to fill it. Let the stillness shape your understanding, for in the sacred quiet, heaven prepares the thunder of your next season. When silence breaks, it will not simply speak, it will sing. The silence passes, and something begins to stir. You can feel it first, not through your ears, but through your spirit, a gentle rising, a soft awakening. It begins like a heartbeat beneath the earth, and then, all at once, it spreads. The awakening of the remnant has begun. This is not a mass movement that seeks crowds. It is a quiet uprising of hearts that have been hidden, refined, and chosen across nations, cities, and unseen corners of the world. People are awakening to the same call. Their language diffère. Their faces are unique, yet their spirits beat in unison. It's the sound of destiny rekindling after generations of slumber. The remnant is not defined by number, but by depth. They are not loud, but they are unwavering. They don't seek to be seen. They seek to carry light faithfully. These are the ones who refuse to bow to compromise, who endured the long nights of silence without surrendering their faith. They are the ones heaven preserved for this moment. You have always been one of them. The stirring you feel now isn't imagination, it's recognition. The same spirit that raised prophets, delivered warriors, and rebuilt nations is moving again, breathing life into those who thought they were forgotten. There's an old story told of a vineyard, after a storm. For months, the vines lay broken, their branches stripped bare. But when spring came, something miraculous happened. The vines that had survived the wind grew back thicker, stronger, and sweeter than before. The farmer smiled and said, "The storm didn't destroy them, it concentrated their strength." No, that is what has happened to the remnant. Every loss, every trial, every season that felt like devastation was actually distillation. The fire didn't erase you, it refined you. Heaven allowed pruning so that power could return to the roots. The writings of the prophet Micah, chapter 5, verse 7. Declare, "Then the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many peoples like dew from the Lord, like showers on the grass, which do not wait for anyone, nor depend on man." The dew doesn't ask permission to fall. It simply appears, quietly, faithfully, transforming the dry ground beneath it. That's how the remnant moves, not through noise, but through presence. Wherever they walk, life begins to bloom. You can sense that same anointing resting on your shoulders now. The world around you may seem unchanged, but the spiritual landscape has shifted. There's an awareness growing in you, a knowing that you are not alone. All over the earth, others are awakening. 2. The scattered lights are finding one another. They come from deserts and cities, from pulpits and prisons, from solitude and sorrow. Some were healed from despair, others were raised from defeat. Yet every one of them carries the same glimmer, the mark of endurance. The quiet confidence of those who have seen darkness and still chosen light. And when the remnant awakens, the atmosphere responds. You'll notice it in conversations that suddenly carry weight, in encounters that feel divinely timed, in prayers that seem to echo louder than before. The veil between heaven and earth feels thinner because heaven is leaning closer. The remnant doesn't rise to dominate, they rise to restore. Their mission is not control, it's compassion. Their message is not vengeance, it's renewal. They don't bring war to the world, they bring healing to it. This awakening isn't fueled by pride, but by purity. It's not about titles or platforms, it's about hearts that beat for truth. It's about those who would rather be faithful in silence than famous in compromise. You might have wondered why your journey isolated you, why your prayers seemed to fall into empty air. Now you see it. You weren't being abandoned, you were being awakened. You were part of heaven's secret army, prepared in solitude, so you could stand in strength when others fainted. The remnant doesn't gather through campaigns or noise, they gather through recognition. When one flame meets another, they simply burn brighter together. And though they may look scattered, they are connected by an invisible thread of purpose. The same spirit that breathed over chaos in the beginning now breathes through them, through you, weaving a tapestry of restoration across the world. The awakening has no fanfare, no announcement, no applause. It comes quietly, steadily like dawn, touching the edges of a long night. The world may not notice it yet, but heaven does. You are not waiting for revival, you are part of it. You are the proof that heaven's plan never faded, only waited. The remnant has always been small, but through them, great change always comes. So as you stand here now, feeling that pulse of something larger than yourself, understand this. You are not a bystander in the story of awakening. You are its heartbeat. The air feels heavier now, not with fear, but with finality. You stand at a crossroads that every chosen one must eventually face, the space between crown or collapse. It is not a question of worth, but of willingness. The crown has always been within reach, yet it cannot rest on a head bowed in hesitation. You can feel the gravity of this moment pressing against your spirit. Heaven is silent, waiting not because it doubts you, but because it's giving you space to choose. Every season of waiting, every trial survived, every tear shed has brought you to this line in the sand. You cannot stand here forever. Every step forward is a declaration. Every delay is a decision. There's a story about a young soldier named Kael who once stood before a ruined fortress. His armor was dented, his sword dull, and his hope nearly gone. Around him lay remnants of battles he'd fought alone. He looked at his reflection in the blade and whispered, "If I kneel here, I will never rise again." So he stood. He raised his sword, not toward the enemy, but toward heaven, and said, "If there is still a fight left in me, then let it be yours." In that instant, strength he couldn't explain filled his body. The battle didn't end, but his collapse did. And when it was over, the crown he sought was not gold, it was glory. That's what this choice represents. Not a prize to wear, but a posture to live. Crowns are not given to the strong, they're given to the surrendered. Collapse is not failure, it's refusal to rise. You've come too far to fold now. As written in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 12, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, for having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life." That crown is not ornamental, it's evidence. It tells the world that even when life tried to crush you, your spirit refused to die. Every bruise became brilliance. Every scar became significance. This moment right now isn't about perfection, it's about alignment. The King never asked you to be flawless, he asked you to be faithful. The choice between crown and collapse isn't made with strength, it's made with surrender. The only thing you need to bring is your yes. The world around you may never understand the weight of this choice. They see outcomes, heaven sees obedience. But those who wear the crown don't need recognition, they radiate resilience. You have felt collapse whisper in your ear before. Give up. Sit down. You've done enough. But there is another voice, gentle, steady, ancient, saying, "Stand. This is the hour of coronation." Heaven is not handing out crowns to the comfortable. It's placing them upon those who bled in silence and still believed. And now, here you stand. The night behind you, the light before you, and the decision in your hands. If these words feel like fire in your chest, it's because your spirit recognizes the truth. You were never meant to end in collapse. You were designed for coronation. So let your response rise, not out of pressure, but out of beauty. If your heart feels stirred, let that gratitude move beyond thought and into expression. Imagine a great cathedral filled with countless candles. Each light represents a story of endurance. When you like this word, it's as if you light your own candle, its flame, saying, "I'm still here. I choose the crown." When you share, you're not promoting, you're passing the flame. It's handing your light to someone still sitting in the dark, whispering, "There's still time to rise." When you comment, it's not noise, it's confession. A simple declaration that says, "I choose the crown." Those 4 words become a bridge between your heart and heaven, a prayer written in public that angels recognize in private. And when you subscribe, think of it as building the cathedral itself, a space where every candle, every flame, gathers together to form a radiant glow. You're not joining a list. You're joining a lineage of light bearers. Do it not out of habit, but out of harmony. Let each act your like, your share, your comment, your subscription become a note in a larger song. Together, those notes form an anthem of endurance that echoes through eternity. Because this moment isn't about algorithms, it's about alignment. Each small act becomes a gesture of faith, a way of saying, I will not collapse. I will wear what heaven placed within my reach. Oh, you were never called to carry the weight of a collapsing world. You were called to wear the crown of a rising one. So lift your head, steady your heart, and remember who you are. The line in the sand isn't here to divide you, it's here to define you. Heaven waits not for your perfection, but for your yes. And when you give it, the crown that fits your soul will no longer wait. After the decision comes, the dividing, the line that once existed only in spirit begins to manifest in the visible. This is the moment after the cutoff, when the world separates not by chance, but by choice. The hour of grace has passed into the hour of consequence, and every heart begins to reveal what it has truly chosen. You can feel the shift. What once felt ordinary now carries eternal weight. The air seems sharper, as if creation itself can sense the separation between those who obeyed and those who delayed. The divide is not made of judgmental fire, it is made of truth. Truth has always been the great separator. Those who responded to heaven's call now move with a strange peace, walking paths that others can no longer see. Their light doesn't come from comfort, but from clarity. They carry the fragrance of obedience, subtle yet unmistakable. They are sealed in purpose, protected not by walls, but by alignment. And then there are the others, the ones who hesitated too long, the ones who mistook mercy for permission. They still live, still breathe, but something in their eyes is dimmer. They feel the hollow echo of missed moments, the quiet grief of realizing that grace is not infinite in opportunity, only in compassion. This division isn't physical, it's spiritual. 2 worlds coexist now, woven through the same streets, breathing the same air, yet seeing with different sight. The obedient walk by revelation, the rebellious stumble in repetition. Heaven hasn't stopped loving them, but time has changed its rhythm. There's a haunting beauty in this. It's not vengeance, it's justice unfolding like dawn after a long night. What was hidden in the heart is now visible in the light. Every action, every delay, every surrender now bears fruit, some of peace, others of regret. As written in the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 36, you need to persevere, so that when you have done the will of God, you will receive what He has promised. Perseverance is what separates the sealed from the lost, those who pressed on, even through weariness. Now, find strength flowing from unseen wells. The promises they once clung to in faith now rise like living proof around them. But those who gave up, who mocked, who drifted, who silenced conviction with comfort, stand now in the stillness of what could have been. They hear the same wind, but it no longer speaks to them. The whispers of heaven have moved on, searching for the willing, Do not mistake this moment for cruelty. Even now, mercy breathes in the edges of consequence. God does not delight in division. He allows it so that love can remain pure. Every separation in Scripture, light from dark, land from sea, wheat from chaff, was not punishment, but purpose. The same is true here. The faithful are not superior, they are surrendered. Their glow isn't pride, it's presence. They carry peace like oil on their skin, proof that obedience always ends in rest. The others, still chasing echoes of former pleasure, will one day remember the moments they dismissed as too small to matter, and they will know it all mattered. In this hour after the cutoff, clarity becomes its own language. Words are no longer necessary. Fruit speaks. Where faith lived, abundance grows. Where doubt lingered, decay begins. Heaven's order always brings exposure, not to shame, but to settle accounts. There was once an orchard where half the trees bloomed and the rest remained barren. A passerby asked the gardener what had happened. The gardener replied, "They all had the same soil and sunlight, but only some turned their roots toward the rain." That is what this moment feels like. The rain fell for everyone, but not all received it. Still, even in division, the heart of God remains tender. His eyes search for the faintest spark in those who turned away, ready to ignite it again. The cutoff is not annihilation, it's awakening through consequence. Some will return, weeping but wiser. Others will watch, longing but unchanged. And as the obedient move forward, they do not gloat, they grieve. For true light mourns for darkness, even as it prevails. The chosen carry both joy and sorrow in equal measure, knowing that love never celebrates loss, even when justice is fulfilled. This is what it means to live after the cutoff, to walk in the fullness of what was promised. Yet never forget those who hesitated at the threshold. Heaven's line has been drawn. The story continues for both sides, but only one walks with the rhythm of divine completion. And then light, not the pale shimmer of morning, but the radiant burst of something eternal, breaking through. The countdown is over. Midnight has passed. The sky no longer trembles under tension, it sings under release. This is the dawn beyond midnight, the hour when time itself bows before eternity. For those who endured, this light feels familiar. It is the same presence that guided them through darkness, now magnified, no longer veiled. The long night of testing dissolves into the brilliance of fulfillment. Every hidden promise, every whispered word, every quiet act of faith now stands visible in the glow. Heaven has made good on its word. The air carries a sweetness no language can describe. The fatigue of battle lifts, replaced by peace that hums through creation. The earth itself seems to sigh in relief. The sound of redemption is not thunder, it's harmony. All that was fractured begins to join again. The chosen stand beneath this dawn, their faces alight with quiet wonder. They are not triumphant in arrogance, but in awe. The journey that once felt unbearable now feels beautiful in hindsight. Every delay that frustrated them, every tear they questioned, has become evidence of divine timing. They understand now that heaven was never late, it was exact. According to what is written in the book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 4, He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. That promise, once distant, now breathes around them. The old order has indeed passed. The striving, the separation, the sorrow, they dissolve into something deeper than joy, peace that has learned endurance. In the dawn beyond midnight, nothing is wasted. Every scar glows faintly, not as a reminder of pain, but as proof of perseverance. The ones who carried the flame through the storm now shine as part of the new horizon. They are not simply survivors, they are symbols of restoration. And all around them, the remnants of darkness retreat, not destroyed, but dissolved. Light doesn't fight shadow, it redefines it. The absence of fear becomes the atmosphere of heaven's reign. There's a story told of an artist who spent years painting in secret. Each day, he added a layer of color, unseen by anyone but himself. When asked why he never revealed his work, he said, "Because I'm waiting for the right light. Only then will the colors make sense." That light has come now for creation itself. Everything long hidden under shadow now reveals its true hue. You can almost see it, mountains shimmering as if alive, rivers glowing with new clarity, the skies stretching wide, no longer burdened by smoke or sorrow. Even the air feels weightless. The curse has lifted. The chosen look at one another and see what heaven always saw in them. The timid now stand tall. The broken now radiant. The weary now whole. They carry no trophies, only truth. And that truth is this: endurance was never in vain. The night did not win. The dawn beyond midnight isn't loud. It doesn't arrive with spectacle, it arrives with certainty. It feels like coming home after centuries of exile. Everything familiar is transformed, yet deeply recognizable. It's as if the soul whispers, "I've been here before," because this light is where it came from. The Lamb stands at the center of it all, not distant, but near. His presence doesn't demand it embrace. His glory doesn't blind, it reveals. His voice doesn't thunder, it restores. And from that center, warmth ripples outward, touching everything that endured, everything that waited, everything that hoped. The ones who answered the call now move freely. No more wait, no more waiting. Their steps leave trails of gold across the new earth. Yet they carry no pride, only praise. They understand at last that obedience was never about control. It was about communion. Every story finds its conclusion here, not in endings, but in continuance. Time itself opens like a door, and eternity floods in. The countdown resets not to urgency, but to endless peace. And as the first full light washes over creation, the heavens whisper one last truth: the faithful are not forgotten, they are fulfilled. The remnant has become the radiant. The chosen have become the crowned. The night has served its purpose. And now, the dawn will never fade. The light settles gently, eternal and unbroken. Heaven smiles through the morning, and creation rests at last whole, restored, radiant. The story doesn't end here. It only begins again. The light has spoken, and the story now belongs to you. Every word you've heard, every image that stirred your heart, was heaven's way of reminding you your life was never random. You are part of something far greater than time, written into eternity with purpose and precision. Now the message passes from my voice to your hands. It no longer belongs to sound waves or screens, it belongs to action. The flame that has been placed within you was never meant to burn in isolation. Every spark, when shared, becomes a constellation. When you like this message, imagine placing your stone on a sacred altar, a small act that says, I was here, I received, I remember. When you share, see it as passing the torch along the mountain trail, lighting the way for another soul who still walks through shadow. And when you comment, it isn't about visibility, it's about agreement. Let your words become echoes of what your spirit already knows. A simple phrase, a symbol, or even a silent heart emoji can become a whisper that says, I am still listening. I am still becoming. No, if you choose to subscribe, do it not for information, but for continuation. Think of it as keeping the lantern lit, remaining close to the flow of revelation. Allowing your heart to stay aligned with these divine rhythms. Each new message isn't content, it's communion. The end is never the end for the chosen. Every completion is an opening. Every pause, a new prelude. You are now the carrier of what you've heard, the living letter of heaven's promise. So let the light continue its journey through you. Through your voice, through your kindness, let the echo move outward. The dawn has already begun.